This is Chetan Singhal. Welcome to my channel Stats Shine, where knowledge shines to make you shine. In this video, we'll be learning about conditional probability. So in my earlier videos, I've explained different concepts related to probability. So please check out the links below. So let's start. So we'll understand the concept of conditional probability using an example. Suppose we toss three coins, right? So what would be our sample space in that case? So we'll write the sample space. A very easy way to write the sample space is, so first write H means head, T means tail, so head tail 4 times. So there will be total 8 outcomes, right? Then write head, then write head. So this is our sample space, right? So define event E as getting at least 2 hits. Right? So what are the outcomes under E? So one is HHH, 2 hits. So at least means 2 or 3 hits. So this is under E. This is also under E. HHT. HTH is also under E. This is not. This is there. THH. Yeah. These are the 4 outcomes that are the part of event E. Right. Now define F. Getting tail on first. Right. So these 4 are the ones that comes under F. THH, THT, TTH and triple T. Right. So assuming each of these outcome is equally likely, so there are total 8. Right. So assuming each of these outcomes are equally likely, so what is probability of E? This is nothing but there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 8. This is half. And probability of F similarly is nothing but 4 by 8, because there are 4 outcomes in F. 4 by 8, 1 by 2. And we are assuming events are equally likely, right? So this is probability of E, this is F. Now what does conditional probability says? So conditional means there is some condition that we already have. So suppose we know that F has already occurred. F has already occurred. So this is our condition that we know that the event F has already occurred. What does that mean? That we know that there is tail on the first toss. So now we have to calculate probability of E. Now calculate probability of E given F. So we denote the conditional probability this way. So this means probability of event E given F. Given F means the condition that event F has already been occurred, right? Event F already ho chuka hai. We have to find the probability under that condition. What is the probability of E? Now the very basic thing which changes in the conditional probability is the sample space. So this is the probability. Earlier our sample space was this, right? Now our sample space changes to this, right? So our sample space is this: THH, THT, TTH, TTT. So this is our sample space for this event given F. So we know that F has already been occurred. So this is the event F. So now our sample space has become this. Earlier it was this when there was no condition. But now we know that event F already ho chuka hai. So we know that under event F, these are the outcomes. So out of these outcomes, we have to calculate probability of E. So what does E says? E says getting at least 2 hits. So if we say there are only one outcome. This is the one which denotes that probability of 2 hits in this sample space. So what is probability of E given F? This would be nothing but, this is in denominator there are 4 total cases and we are assuming equal likelihood, so this is 1 by 4, right? So now we'll see, so just remember this, the sample space changes. The underlying experiment that we have was throwing 3 dice, but now it changes to the fact that the first have already shown tails, right? So now we'll see the formulas for P, probability of P given F. So now till now we have considered these facts. So event E, at least 2 heads, event F, tail shows on first. We calculated probability of E half, probability of F half. E intersection F is nothing but this. So this is common in both the sets. So this is E intersection F is THH, so probability of E intersection F is nothing but 1 by 8. So just now we calculated probability of E given F equals to 1 by 4, right? So what we noticed is event F has already been occurred, then we have to calculate what is the probability of E. So probability of E given F is nothing but probability of E intersection F upon probability of F. This is the formula for this. So now we'll see how this occurs. So we'll draw a Venn diagram to understand this, right? So this is E, this is F, right? So now we know that this event has already been occurred, right? हमारा जो F event है वो already हो चुका है. Now we want to calculate the probability of E. So E is this one. So we want the probability of this slant line out of this full F event, right? So what is the favorable? So this is the intersection part, right? This is E intersection F. So this is the favorable part, right? So in numerator there comes the number of favorable outcomes to E and F, right? This is the intersection part, and we know that number of favorable outcomes to E and F, because we know that F has already been occurred, and in F what are the events that are in E? So that will be nothing but intersection, and here number of total outcomes in F. So this will be the probability of E given F, right? So this is nothing but in denominator there are total number of elements in F. What are the total number of elements that are in F? And in numerator there are number of favorable outcomes to E and F. So this is E and F, this intersection. So this is nothing but number of elements E intersection F upon N of F, right? So suppose if we divide both of these by number of elements in our sample space, N of S. So initial sample space that consists of 8 elements, N of F upon N of S. So this is nothing but probability of E intersection F upon probability of F, right? So this is the conditional probability. So given event F, the event F has already been occurred, what is the probability that event E occurs? So in this case, probability of E given F would be probability of E intersection F upon probability of F. So probability of E intersection F is nothing but 1 by 8, and probability of F was 1 by 2. So this turns out to be 1 by 4. And this is the way that we calculated earlier also. So in F there are 4 elements, this, and out of 4 this is the common one. So this is 1 by 4 from here also. So in this way we can calculate the conditional probability, right? So now we'll see some of the properties of conditional probabilities. So first one is very simple. So this S is the sample space. So the probability of sample space given F equals to probability of F given F equals to 1. Right? So probability of S given F equals to probability of S intersection F upon probability of F, provided probability of F is not 0. So one condition in conditional probability that we have to remember is probability of F is not equals to 0. So S intersection F. So S is our whole sample space. So that this will turns out to be nothing but probability of F only. So suppose this is our sample space and this is event F. Right? This is our sample space. And this is F. So F intersection S would be nothing but event F only. So probability of F upon probability of F, that is nothing but 1. And probability of F given F is nothing but probability of F intersection F upon probability of F. F intersection F is nothing but probability of F only. Right. So this is a very simple property. Then comes the formula for P of A union B given F. So as we know that probability of A union B given F would be nothing but probability of A union B intersection F upon probability of F, right? So we know this will turns out to be A intersection F union B intersection F. Probability of F. This is because of the distributive law of sets, this intersection. So as multiplication rule says, similarly when we multiply, so A intersection F union B intersection F. So A union B, we know that probability of A, two events A union B is probability of A plus probability of B minus the intersection of those two. So this will be probability of A intersection F plus probability of B intersection F minus probability of A intersection F intersection B intersection F. So and we'll have probability of F here. Right? So this is nothing but probability of A given F. This is probability of B given F minus, what is this? So we can just write it as again A intersection B intersection F upon probability of F. The way we have opened it, here we have combined these signs. We have taken common, right? So this is nothing but probability of A intersection B given F. Suppose now A and B are disjoint. Then probability of A intersection B is 0 and probability of A intersection B given F is also 0. So in that case, if these are disjoint, then probability of A union B given F would be nothing but probability of A given F plus probability of B given F. So this is property that we have to remember because it is helpful in solving certain problems. So this is also a complementary event property that we have proved in earlier also, but here it's in the context of conditional probability. So as we know that E union E dash equals to S, right? So this is our event E, suppose, and this is E dash, right? E dash means not E. This is S and this is E, this is E dash. So E union E dash is whole R sample space, right? So suppose if I write probability of E union E dash given F equals to probability of S given F equals to 1, using the first property. Now this using the second property is nothing but probability of E given F plus probability of E dash given F. Because these are disjoint events, E and E dash has nothing in common. E and E dash not common anything, not common outcomes, right? So now we have probability of E dash given F equals to 1 minus probability of E. So these are some of the properties of conditional probabilities. Now we'll discuss an example related to conditional probability. So consider this example of tossing a coin. So we'll toss a coin. If head comes, we'll toss another coin. If tail comes, we'll throw a dice. So these are the outcomes. So what is our sample space? Head and head tail from here, and T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6 from here. So this is our sample space, and the associated probabilities are head and head. So this means 1 by 4 because we are assuming head and head. So the probability of obtaining head in a single toss is half. So this is 1 by 4, this is 1 by 4. So we are assigning the probabilities like this. So this sums to 1 if we see. So this is again T1. So for tail it's half, right? So this is half, this is half. And for this tail getting throwing a dice, so this is half into 1 by 6, this is 1 by 12. So each probability is 1 by 12 over here. So we have defined event F as at least one tail. So this is at least one tail. This. So this is nothing but 1 by 4 plus all this 6 into 12, that 1 by 12, that turns out to be 3 by 4. And we define E as the event dice shows a number greater than 4, right? Dice shows a number greater than 4. So what is E intersection F? E and F. So that means die shows a number greater than 4, this, and at least one tail, this. So these two events are an intersection. So what is the probability of E intersection F? This is nothing but 2 by 12 because there are only two. This 1 by 12 plus 1 by 12, 2 by 12 equals to 1 by 6. Now probability of E given F. We want to calculate probability of this is E, this is F, equals to nothing but probability of E intersection F upon probability of F. This is nothing but probability of E intersection F is this 1 by 6 divided by 3 by 4. So 1 by 6 into 4 by 3, this turns out to be 2 by 9. So hope you have understood the conditional probability. So if you like the explanation and the content, please subscribe my channel and keep shining. Thank you.